Good evening, County Board Supervisors, staff, and guests. Would you please press your roll call? How many do we have? $18. 17, 18. 3 are absent. We have 18 present, 3 absent, and so we have a quorum. Would you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Says present here.
She gets the present next.
Okay. I need a motion to approve the agenda. Who is it? I have him, my customer. No. He's not here.
You're present.
She's just doing a manual check.
Who's the motion by? Who?
Now you're ready.
I have no motion, I know.
Now you're ready. You
All
have to
right.
ask for a motion.
Could I have a motion, please, in a second? I don't have it showing up on here.
It is on the top of hers. She doesn't have the same.
There it is.
All right, I have a motion by Supervisor Diedrich and a second by Patrick LaPlure. Are there any questions on the agenda? If not, please vote your ballot. We have 17 yes, 4 absent, so we do have a quorum. The agenda has been approved. Moving on for the approval of the minutes. Do I have a motion? I have a motion by Supervisor Diedrich and a second by Supervisor Miller. Are there any questions regarding the July 15th minutes? Seeing none, please vote your ballot.
Kathleen hasn't voted.
There you go.
We have 16 yes, 1 abstain, and 4 absent. So the minutes have been approved. Is there any public participation? I don't see anything written over there. Okay. All right, for special business, we're going to need a motion to suspend the rules for the September 16th County Board meeting to allow for a tour of the Calumet County Facilities at 4 p.m. that day. The regular meeting will start at 7 that evening. So I have a motion by Supervisor Voigt and a second by Supervisor Elliott. Are there any questions regarding that? All right. Please, Supervisor Diedrich.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just clarification, it's going to start at 4 p.m. for a tour. I'm assuming from our conversations offline that we're going to start at the Appleton Health Facility
That's
at
correct.
4 p.m.?
We will start at the Appleton and then from there go to the county park and then swing back here into the county to see the garage and the courthouse. What I'm asking you, especially you people from the north end, I know you'll want to meet at the Appleton office and drive your cars here, but for some reason, if we could just kind of carpool so we haven't got 20 cars trailing to go to the park from Appleton, it would be much easier. And the people from this end of the south end here, if you could sort of try to carpool You're all going to end up back here anyway, so I guess I'm going to leave that. At this time, is there anybody who is not going to be able to make this tour of the county board? Ty is in the, all right. Otherwise, everybody else is. So I'm going to leave it up amongst you to try to do some carpooling, okay? And then we'll all meet at the Appleton office at 4 o'clock sharp, because we're on a timeline to get from the park, from the Appleton to the park, back here. And then we will stop here at the courthouse, and we'll have a few snacks before we start our meeting at 7 o'clock. Okay, Emily.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Oh, are you done, Supervisor Diedrich?
I am done.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Madam Chair. I was going to say that I have a car that seats 6. It's a Volkswagen Atlas. I am more than happy to provide rides.
Okay. Okay. So if you look at the bottom of your, on your packet, you'll see the timelines. And we need to stick to them, or we're going to miss something along the way. So I'm going to leave it up to you people to decide who's going to go with who, okay? All right. We used to take a great big bus when we used to do this, but it's almost impossible now to do this. It's gotten so big.
They have to vote. They have to vote.
What are you
They
doing?
have to vote. To suspend.
Supervisor Miller, did you have a question?
Yes, I do. Second stop at the county park. Whereabouts in the county park you're gonna meet? Where the office is, way down below, or where the new construction was? Right when you come in, you've got the new,
We'll come meet at the office.
okay. So you gotta dive in the park. I know where it is, thank you.
All right, okay, okay. All right. If there are no other questions, would you please vote your ballot? All right, we have 17 yes, 4 absent, so that has been approved. Just remember the time, that it's 4 o'clock and back here by 7 for the county board meeting. Moving on to ordinances. Ordinance 2025-07. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm way ahead today. We have several representatives from the High Cliff Connection. As you know, we've been working on getting a trail through there for many, many, many years. It's now come to our attention to do it again. We've been working on it, thanks to the Community Foundation recipients who have allowed us to have some funds to write this plan. And so we're probably in the process of that. So I'm going to have Kurt Ditchen to come and speak to us. All right, you're not Kurt. All right.
However, I will introduce everyone else. Do you guys see this?
Are we on?
Otherwise, you can just hear me speak and visualize the fun. I can do introduction.
There we go.
Oh, excellent. Okay,
We're going.
so, boop-boo. Oh, no. Slideshow? You guys seen the slideshow? No, you're not. From beginning. Oh, you're seeing it now. Excellent. All right. Thank you, everyone. My name is Linda Fink. I am the part-time trail coordinator for the High Cliff Connection. We have a plethora of people over here who I will also introduce. So, the basics of the connection. Some of you are aware of this connection in general, but it is a bike ped route that will extend the regional east-west trail corridor from the trestle all the way to High Cliff State Park. It also establishes linkages to existing neighborhood trails and will be the connection that will tie in the Friendship Trail with existing and planned local trails. The core team here today, and if you want to wave as I introduce you, feel free. With Menasha, we have Megan, With Harrison, we have Chad. With Sherwood, we have Brenda. And with the Community Foundation for the Fox Valley region, we have Kurt. We have some additional people that may want to give some comments later on. You guys also supporters, wave your hands. Thank you. Also part of the core team is the East Central Wisconsin Regional Plan Commission, Fox City Greenways, Friends of High Cliff State Park, and Calumet County. The benefits of this trail are tremendous, obviously. The multimodal connectivity, the transportation access for all. Not everyone has access to cars or feels safe with that. Internal and regional. Safety improvements and healthy lifestyles. And for the economy, this is a spectacular attraction. We have strong tourism connections. A few of the current annual visitors for destinations along the trail, just for reference, within the High Cliff State Park, their annual visitation at this point is 716,899. Pretty cool. Hecrat Nature Center is at 132,700. So that's just last year's information. Tourism dollars spent per DOT tourism, daily visitors spend about $70 per day, and overnight visitors about $213 per day. So this connection is going to be enhancing this entire region, and we're excited about it. Local development obviously comes in with trails as well. Trails are a spectacular part of that. So kind of giving you guys an overall timeline of it. So back in 2021, 2022, the master plan for the connection was created. The Community Foundation funded that. After that, it was, okay, we have this master plan, now how do we get to the next step? So the momentum started. We then established an initial priority list in 2023 and started applying for grants. So we got the feasibility studies, all grant funded as well. Those are now completed, so we're now to the point of next steps with design and putting in more government applications. So this kind of highlights some of the stuff we've already done. So from 2023 on, we've been applying for grants. We've been doing stuff with existing community funds as well. So the Jefferson Park Trail rehabilitation, that was in the city's plan, but the trail aspect was later on. So we ended up leveraging their dollars with DNR dollars to get the trail rehab sooner than later. That's a part of the overall High Cliff connection. We got the feasibility studies funded for both the local roadways and Highway 114. And then Old Highway Road Trail, which is one of our projects. We also already received DOT TAP grant funding for that. Pigeon Road Trail, the existing one, if you guys are familiar with the area right by the park, that we've now applied for a DNR grant as well for funding for that. So I kind of just went through all this, but here's your snapshot of how we've been doing funding today. The Community Foundation for the Fox Valley CFFER, donated $100,000 to fund the master plan. Then they pledged $2 million towards the project as a whole. These funds are being used for local matching, part-time trail coordinator, me, website, etc. They have pledged to match the local municipality shares at 2-to-1. So recognizing that local municipalities need some help, but they're also looking for some skin in the game. They will be covering 100% of the design costs for the Woodlands West segment. In addition, the Community Foundation has also raised an additional $210,000 towards this project. And the government grants I went through already, so I'll just skip that. So what we're presenting here tonight is kind of, here's what the feasibility came out with, and then the overall game plan going forward. For the project at State Highway 114 West, so picture where the Quick Trip is, picture where the Conservancy is, that's what this is. We looked at both north and south side, and there were more environmental impacts on the south side, tighter right-of-way, drainage issues, and extensive real estate. So the concept was, let's go with the north side. More direct connections, less property acquisition, less environmental impacts, and less cost. So you can see then what we did was we divided that into 3 separate segments. So when you look at this development plan, we wanted to make sure that we were being realistic from a feasibility study standpoint of how can we accomplish this in chunks. And that's what this did. So for this overall segment, 114 West, our anticipated construction order of the segments, Woodlands West, Conservancy East, Conservancy West. And you can see this highlights in terms of how much real estate is needed, how many miles, and cost. Anticipated cost for the 3 segments, $4.8 million. We then looked at alternatives for State Highway 114 East. So this is where it's coming in by Pigeon Road. So we looked at the west side of road to extend the existing trail and connect into the State Highway 114 East. This one was purely just look at the west side because it didn't make sense to look at the other side. The alternatives reviewed were both within the right-of-way or behind the right-of-way. We ended up going with behind the right-of-way because that maintains the existing ditches, is safer, but the negative is greater property acquisition. So you can see 1.55 miles, 3.13 acres real estate. So we recognize real estate is a challenge. There are potentially utility corridor challenges. Anticipated cost at this point, $1.79 million. Then we also had, so that was 114, then we looked at the local roads. So we have Old Highway Road. If you guys are familiar with that roadway, right now it is local road with 2 bike lanes. The change to that will be removal of the bike lanes, shifting the road slightly, and then making it that we have an off-road trail, which is safer. Pigeon Road Trail, we already have the existing Pigeon Road Trail, so this is then extending it to 114. In that same one, we looked at, is it going to be within the existing right-of-way or behind the right-of-way? Ended up being behind the right-of-way because if you're familiar with that roadway, it has extensive storm water challenges. So that also will require real estate. So we also, at part of the feasibility study, looked at Manitowoc Road. What ended up coming out of that was that wasn't going to be part of the High Cliff connection directly, but more so when that roadway is developed between the multiple municipalities, that they need to look at the bike ped connection. Then I talked to Old Highway Road Trail. We will be looking at construction in 2027, starting design later this year. We have a DOT grant in hand and have applied for a DNR grant as well. Pigeon Road Trail extension is a little further out. Cost 1.75, anticipated cost for both 3.2. So talking to all this is your potential project timeline. So strip acquisition if needed, funding secured, design, construction. If you look at the lower one, then that's the order that we're hoping to do this in. So based on funding availability and strip property acquisition, 9.861 million for the proposed 6 segments. That cost includes real estate, inflation, design, and construction. So the initial game plan for this was feasibility studies, done, that's done. Then design of Woodlands West, we're starting that, then Old Highway Road Trail. Then grant applications, and this is all in what we ended up doing. Now, what ended up happening was we have now amended our game plan. We're pivoting a bit due to federal and state grant availability decreasing, timelines for federal grant awards increasing. And what I mean by that is it's extending now. If you put into a grant application, realistically at this point, you're looking at 4 years out at least for construction. Federal grant priorities changing. DOT real estate procedures regarding acquisition increasing in challenges, and real estate opportunities. And what I mean by that is, as we're looking at this whole corridor, there are areas that present opportunities to acquire earlier than later. So what this has impacted us with is the order of segment development, looking for additional funding sources in order to do this in a timely manner, and recognition that some segments will proceed without DOT grants, which leads us to the excitement of potential county partnership opportunities. So currently the funding of the project has been through state and federal grants, the municipalities, and the Community Foundation for the Fox Valley region. So at this point, we are interested in exploring future partnerships with funding for the project. And our next step is, who at the county should we talk with? And there's all the contacts, and would be willing to entertain any questions, and or not just me, you have the full gamut of people over there to question as well.
Are there any questions? With all of that, we have no questions.
Thank you for that statement.
Supervisor Stuckman.
Thank you. So to answer your question, Todd would be the one you want to talk to for that. Can we get a copy of that presentation? It'd be kind of nice to have.
Yeah,
That's my only question.
we sent that.
Is it out? I didn't see it in there.
Supervisor Steer?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Is Fire Lane 12 and 13, will that be going along the road out there, not by the residents?
No. It goes Old Highway and then 114. That's what, yeah.
So it
So
won't go-
original concept had, am I correct in this, along the fire lanes?
Yeah.
And then that feasibility study, and based on the residential not wanting that, it did
Well, I
not
know
go
that
way.
area really well, and I know the residents don't want it along the
Correct.
road where they're on the lake,
Yes.
because they have property across that road. So,
And the positive of the State Highway 114, although it is looking at additional real estate of a strip taking along the road, it is a more direct connection, and that's one of the things people were looking for as well.
okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Supervisor Lochran.
Is there any road in Sherwood that you would be using, or is it all trails?
It would be all trails. So we looked at Pigeon Road. Pigeon Road is the one roadway that it's adjacent to, and there is not enough right-of-way of that roadway to expand into a shoulder or anything. So that's where it would be an off-road trail with additional property acquisition,
All the way to the park?
extending to the existing Pigeon Road trail that's there.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Supervisor Voigt.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Not so much a question, but a statement. I am very excited for this project. I have been looking forward to more trails in our area. I think getting people outside and doing things like this, it's actually, as you saw with the numbers of people that are visiting, this is becoming a big trend, is having people are more interested in their health and being outside ever since COVID. So I am very excited about this. This seems like a really good idea. Thank you.
And I think Chad could really talk to, if he wants to, I'll summarize, but with all the development occurring in Harrison, one of the big things that is something people are looking forward to is open space and trails. So just from a bringing development in, it's one thing, but then from a tourism standpoint, when you look to add the trails into the actual, the conservancy or the state park, that's just another component that makes it larger. And hey, instead of one day, let's stay for the weekend, et cetera, et cetera.
Supervisor Tunis.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just have one question. I was a little hard to see the map. So from Oneida Street along 114, it's on the north side of the road then, the trail? So through the Woodland Hills area, it'll be on the north side of the road?
Yes. Sorry, I don't know what Woodlands Hills I looked. So far, where a Quick Trip is?
Yes.
So it continues on the north all the way to South Lake Park Road.
Okay,
And then it'll go down, and then it'll go along Old Highway Road. So that's where it's going to be converted from. Currently, it's a roadway with 2 bike lanes. The roadway shrinks, and it's an off-road trail. And then it goes on to the Friendship Trail, and then it hooks into then the future State Highway 114 trail.
okay, thank you.
Supervisor Miller.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Part of State Park Road is in my district. I got residents up and down that road from my district. The concerns already are out there with electric bikes now. People are passing very dangerously. I'm not sure how fast some of these bikes go. What restrictions would be put on as we go through the years here? You know what I mean?
Brenda, would you like to answer that?
What age group is supposed to not be having electric bikes? There's a whole lot of questions coming up. I get calls all the time. People are passing farm machinery electric bikes and then barely getting around them with oncoming traffic. So
I would
keep-
say that's not a this thing, but I can address that in generally. So I know there are multiple different classes of electronic bike, scooters, et cetera. I don't know if it's class 1 or class A, B, 1, 2, 3, or class A, B, C, something like that. Many municipalities have a restriction in terms of which ones they allow, because to your point, some of them go really, really fast. So that's based on the individual municipality and what they are looking at. So I don't believe that's a countywide thing. That would be your individual municipality, what they have for their restrictions on their trails and in their parks.
To continue, a lot of folks on trails where I bike now around Sherwood, they're going along and they're more interested in sharing their clothing projects, their sewing projects, and they're going along at 4 or 5 miles an hour, slower than you walk. I come by at 16, 17 miles an hour at times, say, I'm passing you on the right. Which way do they step? To the right.
And that's a
Been
trail
going on
etiquette.
for years.
Yes, and that's a trail etiquette aspect. That's one of the things that actually the Regional Plan Commission is looking at doing more education and helping communities from the standpoint of really encouraging standards with trail educate, and some of that's just the education, and then you will have people, I mean, sorry, but some people will ignore, but yes, that's, I can tell you in different areas, sometimes at all major intersections, there's trail educate, trail etiquette, please listen, stay to your right, and all that kind of stuff. So yes, it's valid.
My final comment is, the people that'll follow the rules will be in harm's way the most.
Don't know how to respond to that.
Okay. Are there any other questions?
And then I guess if anyone else from the group would like to add anything to what I said.
Anyone's welcome. Kurt? The original Kurt.
Well, since you invited me up earlier, I thank you for giving us your attention tonight. This really is an exciting project, and my special guest with me tonight is Gene Nelson, part of the Nelson family that has been, it was mentioned, the Community Foundation providing a lot of funding. It's the Community Foundation with the assistance and the help of the Nelson family. So Nelson family has a long connection to High Cliff State Park, and there's a real passion there. So private philanthropy, getting involved and helping to make some of this happen is really important. Linda mentioned that our whole feasibility plan, the master plan that was developed, was premised on the fact that we would have local units of government, private philanthropy and donors, and the ability to access various state and federal grants to support this project. And organizations like the Convention and Visitors Bureau that also makes a lot of grants for trail development. The nature of funding and priorities at the federal level and trickling through the state makes it look a little less likely like we're going to be successful in garnering the levels of funding that we're going to need in order to make this happen in the way it was originally conceived a couple of years ago. It's part of the reason we're here. The majority of this High Cliff Trail connection is in Calumet County. I'm a Calumet County resident myself in Harrison. We'll be looking for partners, and we know from talking with your team, building and enhancing the quality of life and tourism and attractiveness of Calumet County is really important. And this is yet another project that could really enhance that. Done the right way, sir, with the right kind of etiquette and education will be really important, because public safety is high on everybody's minds. Todd, if you're the person that we should be talking with, we'd love to open the conversation and talk about the ways that Calumet County might become a partner with this project. Adam's been a partner and part of the planning with us as well. We appreciate his help, and really just invite Calumet County, all of you, to be part of the project. You'll get this full presentation. We've got a website. We keep it up to date with all the latest updates. We've made similar presentations in Sherwood, Harrison, and Menasha. Really, the public information and the transparency is really important to us, because this is a communities project. It's a public project that's going to serve a lot of people. So thank you for your interest and your time tonight, your great questions, and we invite your partnership. Thank you.
Supervisor Steer, did you have a question?
No, just a comment. I would like to thank the Nelson family personally for their investment in the trail. They've been very active for the last few years. Adam and some others here can attest to that. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd just like to mention that Mrs. Nelson, Jean Nelson, was a former county board supervisor. She was very active while she was on the board, and she was one of 3 women, Wilma Springer, myself, and Jean. So thank you for coming, Jean. We certainly appreciate it. Any other questions? Okay, anyone else wishing to speak? Okay, thank you all for coming, and we certainly will take this under advisement. All right. Moving on to the agenda, we have ordinances.
Ordinance 2025-07, ordinance to amend Chapter 82 zoning code on certain property in the town of Woodville, property of the BROCHTRUP Irrevocable Living Trust, introduced by the Planning, Zoning, and Farmland Preservation Committee.
All right, I have a motion by Supervisor Elliott and a second by Supervisor Booty. And Chris will speak to the ordinance in the absence of Mike and Nick this evening.
Yep, thank you. So the BROCHTRUP Irrevocable Living Trust is requesting to rezone approximately 15 acres to the small state district, 3.5 acres to the agricultural residential district as 2 separate lots, and 79 acres to the exclusive agricultural preservation district. The AR and EAP rezone follows the county's traditional rezoning process for land being rezoned from the EA district. The small estate portion is in an area that's been identified for residential growth by the town of Woodville through the comprehensive planning process, and that's seen on page 12 of your packet. The area is intended to promote residential development on the fringes of villages, cities, and existing residential clusters to reduce the fragmentation of farmland. The town of Woodville has reviewed the petition and has no objection to the proposed rezone.
Are there any questions? Supervisor Miller.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. As a member of the committee, there was not a unanimous vote for approving this. The question came up because we are planning and zoning and farmland preservation. Why are we having 5-acre lots for homes when it was pointed out by the department head that you only need 2/10 of an acre really to build on? So when you're taking this land out of agriculture production, it just kind of seems a waste. And I will point out that one of the supervisors was not in attendance at that meeting. It was not a unanimous vote, but there were a couple of votes nay. Okay? So I think it warrants to take a look at. For many years, everything's been unanimously passed. Okay? And the way the loss of land, a couple months ago, Chris pointed out the loss of land in the state from agriculture and again in the county. It's alarming. So I just like to have the rest of the board know about that it was not a unanimous decision. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Miller. Are there any other questions? Supervisor Tunis.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. For the discussion at the committee level, is there a reason why those are 5-acre lots?
Yeah, I can address that. That's part of our density standards. The small state district is a 5-to-1 ratio requirement for it to be able to create lots. So the 15 acres that are out there, they're planning on creating 3 residential lots to meet that 5-to-1 density standard. So it's all due to density.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else?
Yeah, density is more of a control measure that's used by municipalities across the United States. This is a normal thing that municipalities do. Essentially, density is you're that controlling element to say how many residences that you want to see in a particular area. Typically, in more heavily populated areas, city centers, you have a lower density or you have no density standards whatsoever. When you're looking at more rural areas or fringe areas, you have a higher density ratio. So for example, if you want to have a residential development in an agricultural area, in exclusive ag district, you're looking at a 1-to-20 or a 1-to-40 density ratio, where that means you need 20 acres to be able to create 1 density unit from ownership. Within the small state, it's a 5-to-1, so it's kind of like a fringe area. Really, like I said, it's a controlling measure for residential developments in agricultural areas.
Okay. Any other questions? Supervisor Miller?
Thank you. I'd just like to say I have nothing personally against the folks that are seeking the zoning change, but it's just become apparent over the last number of years, the big loss of agricultural land. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. Supervisor Voigt? Or, no, I'm sorry, Supervisor Cleveland.
What's the current zoning of this property?
Right now, it's zoned as exclusive ag, but the town of Woodville, during the comp planning process, they defined it that they want to see it for more rural residential developments. So this is an area that's close to existing residential clusters. They want to be able to have some limited residential growth within the township. So this is an area that they identified for that potential growth.
Thank you.
Supervisor Voigt.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is more of a comment to address Supervisor Miller's comment. It's happening everywhere. Agriculture, people are not wanting to farm anymore, unfortunately, and with big farms buying out small farms, there's not a need for as many small agricultural farms these days, which is unfortunate. This is not me stating an opinion by any means. It's just addressing that. I think we're seeing that more and more, especially in Calumet County. It's unfortunate that more people aren't wanting to farm, but I think it's also, it's just a change in lifestyle and stuff like that we're seeing. It's just a new trend, unfortunately. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Voigt. Supervisor Tunis.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm sorry to ask the question again, but why was this 5 acres? I don't understand. It's adjacent to the 1.5 acres, so, and isn't Dundas is to this way, right?
To the east and kind of the south, but there's
Right.
that, residential
So,
development in there.
I don't understand why the bigger lots these are not the same 1.5 acre. I don't understand why you're going toward the unincorporated community and yet you're making bigger lots.
Yeah, it's part of that density requirement, that it's strictly that reasoning.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Are you ready to vote? Then please vote your ballot. That's a tough one. We have 13 yes, 4 no, 1 abstain, and 3 are absent, so that ordinance has been adopted. Moving on to
Ordinance 2025-08, ordinance to amend Chapter 82 zoning code on certain property in the town of Woodville, property of the BROCHTRUP Irrevocable Living Trust, introduced by the Planning, Zoning, and Farmland Preservation Committee.
Do
Yep,
I
and
have a
I'll-
motion? I have a motion by Supervisor Miller and a second by Supervisor Johnston. And Chris, would you speak to this, which I assume is similar to the prior ordinance?
Yeah, it's all part of the same family, essentially. The parents had passed away, so it's more of a division of that trust, essentially. So that's why you're seeing this come in. So it's the same BROCHTRUP Irrevocable Trust. They're requesting a rezone of approximately 1.59 acres of land in to the exclusive agricultural residential district. And then they're looking to rezone approximately 63 acres to the exclusive ag preservation district. And the rezoning would allow the creation for a new residential lot on the property, and it's consistent with the county's comprehensive plan and it's compliant with all applicable ordinances. The town of Woodville also reviewed this, and they have no objection to the proposed rezoning.
Right, so are there any questions regarding this ordinance? Basically the same as the prior one? Right, please vote your ballot. Oh, excuse me, Supervisor Altshu.
I was just wondering why you needed 2 if they're going to have lots. Why can't you have 1?
Yeah, it's 2 separate requests because it's 2 different areas, essentially.
Okay.
Because they were combined in the one location before. For the other one, it's all contiguous. It's one application for that one.
Thank you.
Okay, anyone else? Right. Please vote your ballot. We have 18 yes, 0 nay, 0 abstain, and 3 absent, so that ordinance has been adopted. Moving on to
Ordinance 2025-08, 09, excuse me. Chapter 22, Comprehensive Plan. Introduced by the Planning, Zoning, and Farmland Preservation Committee.
All right, I have a motion by Supervisor Miller and a second by Supervisor Johnston. And Chris, would you talk to this?
Yes, so this is bringing for you today is the ordinance language for the proposed Chapter 22 for the county's Code of Ordinance, which will formally adopt the 2045 Comprehensive Plan for the county. This is a culmination of a multi-year planning process that started in the fall of 2022. As part of this plan, the county partnered with the city of Brillion, villages of Potter and Hilbert, and all townships with the exception of Stockbridge to create one comprehensive, cohesive comprehensive plan. The county has gone through the necessary statutory requirements for the planning process, including the formal adoption of a public participation plan that was brought to you guys, I believe, last year. Inclusion of the required 9 elements, multiple rounds of public review, and public hearing and resolution process. A link to the plan is included in the ordinance language, and it's also available on the county's website.
All right, are there any questions regarding the comprehensive plan? Seeing none, please vote your ballot. Excuse me. I have a motion by Supervisor Boot. Do you have a question?
Not a
Supervisor?
question, just a comment. I'd like to congratulate the staff of the department on their many month-long process in working through this ordinance and the comprehensive plan. I know it's actually been almost a year by now, hasn't it been?
Mm-hmm.
So I'd like to congratulate them on finally coming to fruition on their long efforts. Thanks.
Thank you, Supervisor Booty. All right, now you may vote your ballot. We have 18 yes, 0 nay, 0 abstain, and 3 absent, so that ordinance has been adopted. Moving on to
Ordinance 2025-10, ordinance to amend the Calumet County Code of Ordinances, Chapter 32, Article 4, speed limits.
Okay. Do I have a motion? I have a motion by Supervisor Diedrich and a second by Supervisor Miller. And Supervisor Booty, would you speak to this ordinance, please?
Yes, thank you. At the request of the city of Brillion, we are revising speed limits on the southern side of the city on County Trunk Highway PP. A traffic analysis and speed study was done by Ayers and Associates, and given the curve heading into this area, the number of driveways and cross streets, the reduction from 45 miles per hour to 35 miles per hour in that segment is justified. Any other questions? Feel free to ask. Thank you.
All right. Are there any questions of Supervisor Booty? All right. If not, please vote your ballot.
Is this the same ordinance that's going to do the one on the north side? Because no?
No.
Because it's in here. I see it. So, okay.
Has everybody voted? Okay. Supervisors, all right. We have 18 yes, 0 nay, 0 abstain, so we have 3 absent, and that ordinance has been adopted. Moving on to the next ordinance.
Ordinance 2025-11, ordinance to amend the Calumet County Code of Ordinances, Chapter 32, Article 5, stop signs, traffic signals. Introduced by the Highway Committee.
All right, I have a motion by Supervisor Booty and a second by Supervisor Miller. And Supervisor Booty, would you speak to this ordinance, please?
Thank you. Subsections E and G are just cleanups to reflect actual in the field conditions. Apparently, we had installed those signs many years ago and had never updated the ordinance, so this is just cleaning up that. Item F is going to be a new sign to be installed at that location, essentially creating a four-way not exactly a four-way stop, but almost a four-way stop when H butts into A in that location. So any other questions, feel free to ask.
All right. Any questions? Just a cleanup ordinance, okay? All in favor, please vote your ballot. We have 18 yes, 0 nay, 0 abstain, and 3 absent, so that ordinance has been adopted. Moving on to supervisor reports. If you have any reports from meetings or seminar, please push your request to speak. I just have a couple myself, and I'll just mention that. I attended the Resolutions Committee in preparation for the Wisconsin Counties Association conference coming up in September. We had 26 resolutions. Some of them were repeat ones, and it's probably the only time I've ever seen so few resolutions coming through for a county conference. So some of them were asking for additional monies for human services. They talked about the opioids. They talked about another building or institution for the juveniles. So those will all be coming up at the conference in September. The other thing is I attended a county board forum that we held last week, and it had to do with changing the membership of the bylaws of the WCA Constitution. Beginning in 2026, residents of 300,000, there will be 2 supervisors in those districts, and of 600,000, there will be 3 in those districts. And the reason they're changing the membership is many of the WCA people who are reelected and reelected and reelected always had to go to a regional meeting that they had and had to go through a whole reelection process again. What they're tending to do is these people who, for instance, win their election in 2026, they will be 2-year terms. But incumbents who have been on that before the 26th, they will begin a 4-year term. So it's divided so that the different districts will have equal representation. So it will start in of the election in April of 26. There were 63 chairmen at that meeting, and there was only one county that voted no, and that was Kewaunee County. Otherwise, 63 out of 71 was a pretty good attendance. So I'm sure we're going to hear probably more about that as we move along, so I just wanted to bring you up to date. So we have several other meetings coming up with County Mutual and claims and things that are going on. So we should have that all under control, I would think, before the conference. I don't know how many are going to the conference, but for those who are new, I would certainly have hoped that you would have at least tried to spend a day or two. So that's all I have. Supervisor Schwallenberg.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Today I listened to a meeting from the NACO's Central Region, and Kurt Gibbs from Marathon County happens to chair this area of NACO. They talked about the state associations joining together with the opioid settlements so they could work together. Excuse me, my new iPad and just... The other thing is there's a tech survey, and it's called Cloud Adoption in Counties. And I don't know, they were saying to talk to the IT people about doing that, and it's on their site. The person from FEMA, about FEMA, wasn't there today. So then the other part was the the analysis of local costs and because of the federal cuts. You should be able to see all these things if you want to go on NACO's site to read what they have to say about it. I just received an email from the Wisconsin Department of Health Services that there's possible measles exposure in Wisconsin from an out-of-state traveler. And this is not the Oconto County one that had 9, I believe. They're looking at, the date is August 4th. If you happen to stop in these 2 gas stations, one is the Flying J Travel Center in Roberts, and the other one is a Pilot Travel Center in Beloit. They're looking at that. Our medical representative on our Human Services Board also said there are a couple cases of infant botulism in the state, too. One is a 2-week-old infant, and the other one, I think, is 9 months. Usually that's associated with honey, but that's not the cause of it on these 2 children, and they don't know why. So that's looking at that. Ledgeview, we're still plugging along, working on Ledgeview. Pretty soon, hopefully it'll be done pretty soon. And I think you'll be pleasantly surprised if you've never been to our county park before when you take a tour of that. I've talked to some other county employees who just didn't realize what was down there either, that we had cabins and other things down there for you to see. So we hope you enjoy the tour. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Schwallenberg. Anyone else? All right. Then moving on, you had the county administrator's report. Were there any questions regarding that? Okay. If not, then do we have something? Matthew?
Thank you.
Matthew, did you have a question?
Yeah, so just regarding the new workforce attraction website, I want to say thanks for being proactive and working on this. I'm assuming this is our economic development department that's spearheading that? All right. And I guess, I know early, so we probably don't have much in the way of results, but how long has it been live, and have we had any action?
The details on that, Matthew, I can provide next time when Jason's around. He and I have spoken about this, but the dates are going to escape me in terms of timing about when it was actually implemented and live.
Oh, that's fine. I mean, you can just put that in a
the
next report and just let us know how it's going. Are we partnering with any of our local businesses or any of our local municipalities about on the kind of a joint effort there?
This is a result really of the businesses that Jason has met with and Rick Sense has met with an idea regarding the need to talent attract for all different kinds of employment within the region that is difficult to obtain. So I don't think funding partnership, if that's what you mean, but certainly a result of conversations with them for retention visits and talent attraction. It's really shifted from trying to attract individuals to come and work for us rather than the building and expanding of businesses.
Yeah, I do know that when I served on ITBEC a few years ago, when we were still a member of ITBEC and it was still active in our region, that we were very interested in talent attraction and trying to utilize our natural resources and our outdoor activities as a selling point on that. So I hope that some of the work we had done there can be used and kind of recycled into this effort. So thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Booty. If there's nothing else, our next regular meeting will be September 16th. And remember, it's the 4 p.m. tour back here for a 7 p.m. regular board meeting. If anyone cannot make that tour or are going to be absent, please let me know so we know what number we're talking about. And I again ask you to please try to carpool. I know it's going to be a little difficult, but I'm trying to eliminate trails of vehicles going from one place to the other.
Can I just make one more comment
Yes.
about that? So the itinerary was provided in case you can make some but not all. Or if you have an interest in one, but you've already been to the highway facility. So those are estimated times if you would like to meet. I think everybody has my phone number too, so I'll be looking if you want to text to find out if we're running ahead or behind, if you wanted to show up at one part of the facility but couldn't make the beginning of the tour. So we're trying to be flexible and make sure that you can see what you want to see.
Okay. Any questions? With that, we've completed the agenda, so I'll adjourn the meeting. Thank you for your attendance and have a safe trip home.